Thoughts on the Proteas' performances in this particular IPL? That was a question sent in by our fans on Instagram. And we're going to be discussing that and answering your questions on tonight's show. I thought we can bring a little live show to you guys. We've been missing you guys. We've been missing this live streams. So we will try to do them as many times as we can. We obviously will still be doing our daily shows as per usual, like you guys have been tuning in and sharing that and commenting. Let us know what you want to speak about in the comment sections of those videos too, so that we can actually try and organize certain interviews and certain conversations for our pre-recorded daily shows. But today we're going to be having a daily show live for you guys. So that is very exciting from our part. So let's get into today's question and let's get into today's video. But before we get going, you need to obviously go to the description and click the description for the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine. Now, the monthly magazine is available for all of you guys for 100% free. It gives you different insights into us as a community, as a family, as well as amazing insight into different parts about cricket. So, every single month is 100% free, every single issue, and every single month is themed. So go ahead and do that. Description, go to the description and click the link over there for that, and you'll get it every single month. So let's get into today's video. Really excited to chat to you guys and hear what you guys had to say in your questions and try to answer them as best as possible. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your Q&A daily show. I'm your host Khali Moedin. This is my co-host Aditya. And today we answer your questions and we're coming live to you guys once again. I just thought it will be interesting to do so. I'm really excited about this one. So it's nice to see you guys back in the live comments again and that you guys have tuned in. Let's get straight into it, Aditya. Let's chat about some of them. You said that I should have a look at someone's question. Is that on Twitter that you were talking about?
Yeah, I can read out the question if you want.
Awesome. Go ahead.
All right. Um, okay, here we go. So here is Lawrence Bailey's question. He's from South Africa. What do you guys think our team dynamic will look like for the World Cup? Will we go in with three spinners and be a batter light, or will we stick with what works, that is three spinners, or drop a seamer to pick the extra batter with Dwayne being the second seamer? Okay, so uh, that's an interesting question. Do you want to answer it, Khalid?
Yeah, so for me personally, I think if everybody's fit and available, I think South Africa will go with the three spinners. I think that is an option that they will go for, like similarly to what we saw. But on on the flip side, with George Linder not being in the side, it's going to be very interesting because I would have gone with that spinners if George Linder was in the side. Now, I think that South Africa possibly need that extra batsman because Aiden Markram kind of acts as their third spinner currently. And if you have Keshak Maharaj and Tabray Shamsi in your team, the third spinner like Bjorn Fortuin, who's the other third spinning option, might not necessarily be necessary. But me personally, I don't think South Africa is going to go with a specific team dynamic. That's my honest opinion on this. I think South Africa is going to go according to what's available to them and who they're playing against. I think they're also going to go according to what the conditions are. If the conditions are very spinner friendly and are going to really help them, I think they will go with the extra spinner. So three spinners and Aiden Markram, of course. I think Aiden Markram's position in the side must be sealed on, seeing that the way he's played in this IPL. So I think there's no choice with Faf not in the squad, which is still blasphemy to me. I can't believe that that's not happening, that he's not there. Let me just get that out of the way. But ultimately, with Faf not being there, Aiden has to play every single game because the way he's playing currently in these conditions, showing that he can do it. He's going to be, the conditions on the back of his hand by the time the World Cup comes around. So to answer your question, Lawrence, I think that South Africa will go with the spinner option and have the third spinner be Aiden Markram, because I feel that they can stack that batting lineup and have Dwayne Pretorius as one of the all rounders, spinning all rounders in the side. What is your thoughts on that, Aditya?
Um, I given how the IPL has gone so far, I think teams are going to focus on having seaming all rounders as opposed to spinners. So I think one specialist spinner and one part-time spinner is all teams need. The rest of them can be your fast bowlers or your medium pacers. That's my view.
Okay, a little bit, no, not completely. I think we, to an extent, we do agree, but I mean,
And I don't think there are
would
three
you?
spinners playing in World Cup. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, just because if Bjorn could, I mean, if Bjorn's batting was as good as George, I feel with a big hitter, because I feel Bjorn is a good batsman, and Bjorn is the type of player that, you know, he's someone that really needs some time at the crease. He doesn't come out and just smash the ball immediately. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just the type of some of the guys that he's a guy that really needs to take his time at the crease. So I think that with the current setup, South Africa do need a strong batting lineup, and it's possible that they play Heinrich Klaasen and they play um, David Miller in that batting order, and even move Dwayne Pretorius maybe to 7, not even as high as 6. That's also another possibility that could possibly happen. But then dropping that, when you have Heinrich and you have KG in that team, you need to have both. You can't see them not picking both. And Lungi hasn't even had a shout yet. So we don't know how fit Lungi is either. So that's another story. But I mean, I agree with you, Aditya, actually, if I think about what you had to say. Let's move on to the next question. And that is, let me just get to it quickly. Oops. Instagram is crazy. Okay, let's go to thoughts on the performance of the Proteas in the IPL. I think it makes sense to talk about that one last. That is the headline of the story, because I just saw another one just pop up now. It's T20 World Cup favorites and what team to look out for. Let's start with that one first and then go to the final question last. Okay, we had this conversation about the favorites already. Um, I do believe that because of the IPL and the amount of Indian players and the amount of exposure these Indian players are getting right now, and the amount of cricket they are playing now leading up into the World Cup, I have to make them favorites. I think they understand the conditions a lot better than anybody else. Majority, because all of them play the IPL, basically that entire team. So I think that India has to be favorites for this particular T20 tournament. I just think that although we are seeing some struggles happening from certain players in the IPL, but I think by the time the IPL comes around, I mean the World Cup comes around, they'll be so ready. The West Indies are another option, I feel, because in big tournaments they are always guys that you need to look out for. I'm a bit worried about England, eh? I'm not really so like in the England camp at the moment as I was prior to this whole the last couple of series, etc. So for me, I think India and West Indies are favorites because West Indies is a type of team that you don't know what's going to happen, but when they strike, they strike. And the West Indian guys in this tournament, the way Dwayne Bravo bowled today, wow. I just had to say that was just exquisite. I had to watch that and watch him be so accurate as we usual as we know we can be. And I think the bowlers in general in this tournament are going to be the the stars in this tournament. They are going to set the the bar high for any team. That's my opinion on it. And yes, a good batter. I think we're going to see individualistic batting performances in this tournament that are going to really take teams to over the line, etc. And that's going to happen because it's a batsman's game, as you heard from Tsepo Mareke and Carl Simmons in our interview. It's a batsman's game, but I really think the bowlers will be stars. A lot more bowlers are going to turn out to be stars. Your favorites, Aditya? I don't think even think I should be asking you that.
I think India has a strong team. They have their concerns as well, but I think India is going to be a leading contender. Pakistan is on that list. We shouldn't underestimate Bangladesh in these conditions. They're a good T20 team and they're high on confidence, having beaten Australia and New Zealand. And I don't know if it's having hammered Australia and New Zealand in their home conditions. So I think India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh are strong contenders. And outside the subcontinent, I think it's very hard to look past New Zealand. New Zealand will be a tough team to beat as well. But it's interesting. I think a lot of these predictions can go wrong given that the T20 format is just so unpredictable. But I think India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and New Zealand are my favorites.
Mm. Okay, I think that's excellent choices. Let's go to some of the comments maybe in the live chat before we answer the main question. Mm, has there been any? Has there been any? Khalid, any update on the Newlands revamp of the cricket stadium? It's going quite well. I've driven past it a couple of times. They put up a new robot as well in the street outside the stadium, so that's going to be a crazy addition because that road was a nice long road. I never used to like it that there's that extra road, but there's two robots now in that road, which I don't really or stop lights, what you call it in other countries, but a robot in our country. So yeah, I'm not really keen on that one, but it looks like it's coming on nice along quite well. I haven't had the opportunity to actually go there and go look myself because obviously with the COVID restrictions and everything, we haven't been allowed to go to the stadium really. So I'll have to go and look myself. Is Bavuma fit for the World Cup? I think he will be. I think currently he's getting back to full fitness again. He's in the camp currently in Durban. So we're going to hear from them very soon. They'll probably give us some information coming out of that camp. And then we'll give you an update on Bavuma as well. Khalid Aditya, oops, Khalid Aditya, why Yanaman has not been part of the Proteas T20 setup? Is he not a T20 material or Bavuma a T20 material? Um, well, if you look at the way Yanaman is played in T20 cricket for South Africa, he hasn't really mimicked his ODI form. I think that it's not Temba Bavuma that's keeping Yanaman out of the side necessarily. I feel that maybe someone like Aiden, the way Aiden has performed, has been keeping Yanaman out because for a long time this season it's been about them, the two of them, which one is going to put up their hand for the T20 format. If you look at the way Yanaman has progressed in T20 cricket, I think that this T20 tournament will be a big one for him, playing for the GBets Rocks. And I think that's going to be the tipping point for his T20 career. I think that's really going to show what he's capable of. We've seen a lot of stars perform this tournament. Fajid Bayardeen. We've seen Rade Russell come back with two back-to-back half centuries. We've seen some Jean Duplessis. We've seen Yasin Vali. We've seen Zubair Hamza hit 100. There's been a lot of great performance. John Bird with a cool headed 40. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy the way this is going to go. But Yanaman was someone I would have wanted Yanaman to be one of the guys on the bench. I mentioned it before. I think one of the guys on the bench would have been a nice backup. I think someone like Riza maybe also is keeping Yanaman out to the side. I think. I mean, I would have liked another attacking option as attacking as Yanaman in the squad, just in case, you know. But they've picked what they've picked, and that's how it is. And I don't actually think that Temba's as bad as a T20 cricketer as many people make it out to be. Just based on the domestic scene that I've seen, Temba's really played well in the domestic setup. I've watched him play for the Lions quite a few times, and really look top class. So, I mean, we have to disrespect what the selectors have given us, have put in front of us. We've discussed this in depth before as well, guys. Um, what's your thoughts on Yanaman Aditya?
I think that top four is quite crowded, and if Yadaman has to bat in the South African T20 batting lineup, it has to be in the top four. And I guess unfortunately for him, although he deserves to be there, it's very hard to look past um, Quinny, Aiden, Temba, and Rassi van der Dussen as well. So yeah, it's unfortunate that he's missing out, but as Barger says, that sometimes you just have to wait your turn, and eventually he'll get his.
Exactly. Okay, I'm just going to look for the last. Okay, so the last one. Okay, there was a question that was sent to us on Instagram as well, but it was not really cricket related from Bash Walters. He says, Ollie in or out? I'm always going to be Ollie in until Ollie is out of the club. So I just want to say that for all the Man United fans. I have a very different view on Manchester United to many other fans. So I'm always going to be Ollie in. Okay, let's answer the main question of the show tonight, and that is thoughts on the performances of our Proteas in the IPL. First and foremost, Aditya, you've been watching the IPL quite closely. Do you want to give the fans first a quick update on who are the players that really performed well?
Oh, the South African players. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to start with the bowlers. Uh, KG and Andrik, they've they found themselves. They've rediscovered themselves after some time in Sri Lanka and the West Indies and so on. And I think they really feel at home with the Delhi Capitals. So they've really been cranking up the speeds, and they've been amongst the wickets as well. So KG and Andrik look like they're going to be in good shape before the T20 World Cup. The new arrival, Aiden Markram, has contributed in 3 games that he's played thus far. I think he's made scores of 34 or 26, 27, and then 42 in the last game. He's been impressive, and hopefully this is the beginning of a long IPL career for him. But his form bodes well for South Africa going into the World Cup. Abel de Villiers, he's done well. He did well in the first leg of the IPL, but he's yet to show up in the second leg because what's happening is that he's batting at number 5, and Virat Kohli has rediscovered form. KS Bharat has been number 3, and Glenn Maxwell has been in great form at number 4. So he hasn't had a lot of time to bat. He's been coming in the 16th, 17th over, and it's these pitches are hard to sort of get cracking straight away. Quinton de Kock has also been in decent touch. He scored a 50, a 54 in a couple of games recently. He's been striking the ball quite well. And last but definitely not the least is a certain Francois Duplessis. I mean, he's scored 41 today. It's it is outrageous. It is outrageous to me that Cricket South Africa was not able to find a balance that would fit Faf du Plessis in for this World Cup team. Because the thing is, my worry for South Africa is that if they perform poorly in this tournament, there are going to be
The
massive
backlash.
questions asked. There's going to be
The
massive
backlash is
questions
going to
asked.
be crazy.
Can you imagine up until this point? So these are some of the last few games in the league stage of the IPL. And Faf has already made 430 odd runs. So you combine 2 seasons in the UAE, 450 runs in that season last year, and he's at 430 here. He's close to 900 runs in the UAE, and you're telling me that you can't find a way to fit him into your World Cup squad? Are you serious?
No, it's unbelievable. I think it baffles me to the core. Even
I
at
mean,
here as well.
Faf has been
Hey,
hitting sixes at will. He's literally hitting sixes at will. He's there was a stat today that Faf du Plessis and Ruturaj Gaikwad in 11 innings have scored a 50 plus partnership 6 times. Is there any wonder why CSK is top of the log right now?
yeah, no, it baffles me completely. I mean, I would have liked to see a Quinton de Kock and Faf du Plessis opening pair. Really, I would have. It would be destructive ultimately. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what really happened there and why things fell apart with the discussions over there. I mean, I think it's others think it's got to do with planning and poor planning. I don't know what it is. It doesn't make sense to me. If I was a coach of South Africa, I want my best players in the team. 100%. That's the first and foremost thing that I would want to do.
And the thing is that
Plus, I mean, Faf has won domestic trophies as well. I mean, he led the Paul Rocks to a win in the MSL final. I mean, he's done wonders with CSK. I mean,
yeah, he's led
wow,
CPL to the finals of. He's led the
yeah,
St. Lucia Kings to the finals of the CPL as well, and he scored 120 there, another 84 to follow that up. So if you look at the entire South African team, and you look at the quality of preparation, Faf's probably had the highest quality of preparation because the games that he's played in the CPL
yeah,
and in the IPL have been more
exactly,
competitive than
yeah.
the games that South Africa played against Ireland and Sri Lanka. And he's going in with game time in those conditions.
Yeah, let's end it there, guys, before I get
Yeah.
really sad about not seeing Faf du Plessis in the team. But, guys, thanks a lot for tuning into our live show. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Just stay tuned for some excellent content, hopefully, this weekend. I will give you guys an update tomorrow. We will be doing perhaps, we'll try to give you guys another maybe live show, or myself and a teacher will discuss what we're going to be doing for tomorrow. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. The link is in the description. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of this week. Cheers.